You gonna do the sound?
Are we gonna?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Drive Pink Dialogue. It is the end of the game. I'm not sure if it's actually ended yet. It looks like everyone's still celebrating Messi's goal to end the game. 2-0 Inter Miami victory. This is exactly what they needed. Again, they're still waiting for the final whistle to blow, but that will do it. Inter Miami gets the 2-0 victory that they needed. They advanced to the quarterfinals of the CONCACAF Champions Cup, and they will face LAFC on the other side of the international break at the beginning of April. So no 2 games per week for a little while. Again, they will play this weekend in the international break. Then they will face Philadelphia, and then we will get into some LAFC at that point. But Inter Miami, biggest news, biggest story, biggest headline, gets the 2-0 victory. Messi returns to action, 40-ish minutes if you include stoppage time. And he looked healthy. He looked solid. He looked good. He didn't have any wow moments, but I think for the fans in Jamaica, I think that was a really nice privilege. I'm really happy he was able to do that. And they got to, see him warm up and, travel and get autographs and all that stuff. So awesome experience all around. I'm going to talk about the game. And by the way, Saur has some work to do tonight, so he won't be joining. It'll be just me, and so I apologize in advance for that. But I want to let you guys get a chance to get some comments in so that you guys can sort of lead this raw reaction, instant reaction to this game. But before we do, I want to talk about Cavalier and the CONCACAF Champions Cup in general. Obviously, Inter Miami spent the first couple years not in this tournament. They made it for the first time last season, or played in it for the first time last season. They played Nashville in the first round, who we have played a million times, and then Monterrey, who they lost to immediately. And we didn't really get a chance to play. I don't want to call them a smaller team, but a team outside of the normal sphere of who we play. Of course, with the Leagues Cup and of course with the MLS, we play a lot of the same teams or similar style of teams. And so I just wanted to start by saying that I thought it was a ton of fun learning about Cavalier, researching for the pregame shows. I thought it was a ton of fun learning about the Jamaican Premier League and seeing the style of play, seeing how much different it is compared to a lot of the leagues that I'm used to, how spread and wide open it is and how athletic and fast paced. But because there's so much space, I think it allows players to really try some tricky things and try some balls that they maybe wouldn't get away with in other leagues because of how condensed the game can be. So I thought it was a ton of fun, and I would love to now play Herediano or a team from Costa Rica or from the Dominican Republic or whatever, because this to me was so much fun, learning about a new league, learning about a new team, and getting to find out that some of these players on Cavalier are real players. I know Richard King, the captain, defender, center back for Cavalier, he was complaining a lot, and so maybe as an Inter Miami fan, you didn't love that, but I thought he was a really excellent player, and I hope to see him in the MLS again soon because he was a lot of fun to watch. And so I hope that the CONCACAF Champions Cup will one day sort of reorient itself in a way that makes these types of games and these types of environments and atmospheres and legs more common, because Inter Miami is going to go face LAFC, who is an MLS team in the Western Conference, and maybe we'll play Vancouver, maybe we'll play Pumas, teams that we've played recently in the semifinals if we advance, and then another potential Mexican team, maybe the LA Galaxy in the final if Inter Miami is lucky to get there. But the really unique types of teams that we would have played, those are done now. And so I just wanted to say that I really appreciated playing Cavalier and learning about them. And certainly they are my favorite team in Jamaica. I think I might go buy one of their jerseys. I was looking them up. They're like $55. But we will see. Okay, to this game. Inter Miami gets a 1-0 win that turned into a 2-0 win with a nice play at the very end. The one goal comes off of a Luis Suarez penalty earned by Tadeo Allende. I definitely thought that was a penalty. Tough move by the Jamaican left back Ainsworth, but it happens. It's a penalty, and Luis Suarez placed it perfectly. So unbelievable penalty. Inter Miami gets the 1-0 lead. And then again, they turn into 2-0 with a Messi goal at the very end. I haven't had a chance to watch the replay on the Messi goal, so I'm looking forward to doing that after we get off here. But the biggest difference in this game, I thought, was the midfield play. We talked about it in the pregame show. Last week, they had their number 10, Dwayne Atkinson, just hug Sergio Busquets and make it very difficult for him to be a key distributor. Very difficult to just get on the ball for Busquets. That wasn't their game plan this time. And also, Inter Miami dropped Redondo much deeper, dropped Segovia a little bit deeper to make sure they were able to be helpful in build-up, in possession. And so, to me, that was the biggest difference. Inter Miami had a much better plan in the midfield, was able to take care of the ball much better, didn't have the sort of turnovers they had in that first game by trying to be too vertical. They slowed it down, they condensed the game, and I thought that took out the athleticism of Cavalier and made it less effective. Obviously, the pitch was really tough, but I thought that affected both teams equally. I think Cavalier actually played much better last week on a nicer pitch. So let's get to the chat. I want you guys to be the ones that sort of lead this. And now that I've had a little bit of an opportunity to let you guys get your chats in, I'm excited to see what you guys have to say. Jan says, great win. Super to see the GOAT back, and he scores. I know. I'm looking forward to seeing the highlights for that one. Again, I went live as soon as the ball went in because I knew that was the end of the game. But nice finish, I believe. And let me know in the chat, was it Santi Morales who gets the assist for that? Anyways, I will watch it again later. Cesar says, Crema out. Not the best game for Kremaski. I think if there was any player that would come away from this game thinking they missed some opportunities, it would be Kremaski. He had an unbelievable opportunity early in the second half where he just decides not to take the shot. Had like 2 or 3 other moments in the final third where he was a little wasteful. I think it was a disappointing game from Kremaski. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I won't sugarcoat it. I thought he was fine in possession. I thought he was fine defensively and everything, all the other aspects of the game. But in the box, in the decisive moments, he wasn't able to deliver. So I think that's a fair criticism. And then Morales in. I like Morales, man. Here's what I will say about Santi Morales. He has not played a full game yet. And so we will see what the defensive side, the positioning, and all that stuff looks like. How complete is his game? But when he comes on for 10, 15 minutes at the end, he's got some impressive vision. He can put those forward balls through. He's just looking to attack. And it's not with his own pace. It's not with his own dribbling ability. Not that he's terrible at those, but it's with the pass. It's with his vision. And he's always looking to be attacking. And so I don't know exactly if that's because he comes into situations that call for that, or if that's what he will be over the course of 90 minutes. I'm excited to find out. And I love the fact that he keeps getting opportunities. It clearly means Javier Mascherano sees something in this kid. And I mean, I see it too once you get to see him, and clearly Cesar sees it as well. So Tarek says, Kremaski hasn't been good lately. He needs to up his game. I thought this was his worst game. I thought he's had some nice moments in the last couple games, but this clearly was not his game. I don't think there's any sugarcoating that. I guess the one thing I will say is he didn't start the game. He wasn't expecting to start this game. He comes on for David Ruiz after about 15 minutes. And so it's not really an excuse. I'm not going to present it like an excuse, but I guess that's all I have to say. A lot of Kremaski criticism. SD says the GOAT and Santi Morales. Wow. And then Gabriela says Morales and Messi is an amazing combo. I never thought we would see the two on the field together. Those two, I think, are both number 10s. Obviously, in this game, Messi plays more as that central number 9. I mean, he comes in for Suarez, and he's sort of the pinpoint of the attack. And so it gives the opportunity for a number 10 to play behind him. It was interesting. It was cool. I'm looking forward to watching it again for our episode tomorrow. But he has something. Santi Morales has something. And I will say, a lot of the scouts that follow youth national prospects for the U.S. and are paying attention to MLS Next Pro, I don't think they had a hugely high expectations for Santi Morales. I think there were some question marks about him, and that, I think, guided a lot of our conversations about him over the last couple of years. But now that I'm getting a chance to see him in person, or see him live for the first team, he looks like he belongs. He definitely looks like he belongs. Kareem says a pretty boring game. Yes, but I think that's exactly how Inter Miami wanted it to go. They didn't want to be in danger at any point. They wanted to have possession. They wanted to maintain control. They didn't want to let this game get out of hand in any way. They finished with 65% possession. That feels kind of low, actually. We'll see if those numbers update. But 19 shots, 9 corners, 4 big chances created, huge advantage in terms of passing and possession, obviously. So I thought Inter Miami played this exactly how they wanted to. They were secure in the midfield. Defensively, they were very sound. And, it was boring, but I think Inter Miami wanted it to be that way. They needed to get a victory in this game, not just, and I talked about in the pregame show, not just advance, not just do enough to survive in advance, but a victory to set themselves up with home field advantage moving forward. There is no other team, at least none of the major favorites for this tournament, that are undefeated through this point in the tournament. So Inter Miami has some wiggle room in terms of keeping home field advantage moving forward. They'll have it next month when they play LAFC. And if they can get a win and a draw, for example, they will have it in the semifinals. And if they can keep it through the semifinals, they'll get home field advantage in that final. And the final is a one-leg final. So having home field advantage would be huge, especially if you're playing up against a Club America, for example, in the Azteca. Playing at Chase Stadium would certainly be a much better environment for Inter Miami to have to deal with than the Azteca. Anton says Morales is better than Kramaski. I will say I'm very much looking forward to watching the replay at the very end for the goal, but he has something going forward. Obviously, Kramaski adds a ton defensively and just pressure. So I'm very excited to see Santi Morales get a start, not go up against tired legs. I want to see what his game's like. I think he's earned more minutes or an opportunity to get a real look to see what his game looks like holistically. I would be pretty sad if we see him play for the B team over the next couple weeks. I think that would show us that maybe he's not on the verge of starts, where I think he's looked very impressive in the minutes that he's gotten. Ash says they did a great job keeping Cavalier contained. Yeah. I want to talk about the center back partnership, Maxi Falcone and Noah Allen. These two are my two for right now in big games. They look like veterans. They have so much composure, quality. They never look nervous. They just look so calm, and they look like veterans out there. And when you pair Falcone with the athleticism of Noah Allen, especially Noah Allen, who is able to cover for Jordi Alba, allow Jordi Alba to get forward, and he does that really effectively. And maybe the fact that he's a left back by trade kind of gives him a little bit more of an instinct of when he needs to get up there. But I really like that partnership, that they did a tremendous job today. We saw last week, David Martinez was the cover for Jordi Alba, and they got the ball to that right side a lot, their right side, our left side, to John Morrow Calvin a lot. A couple times that were very dangerous. That didn't happen at all tonight. Again, there were some other factors, but I think Noah Allen was a huge part of that. Him and Falcone, they're just very good defenders, man. And though as a partnership, I think they fit each other well. I think they fit a system that allows Jordi Alba to get forward a lot very well. Those two, I think, are my two for right now. Even a week and a half ago or a week ago, I was talking about 5 guys that all felt like a mosh pit. Here we are a week later, and I think Falcone and Noah Allen are my partnership. Kareem says, so sloppy. The field was awful. I will say I've seen the U.S. play on that field before, and it always looks like that in the U.S. national team. It always looks like that. It's not a great soccer pitch compared to MLS pitches, compared to Chase Stadium, compared to what we will see throughout most of the rest of the season. But they had to be able to survive and advance and play and win on that pitch, and that's why they went to Honduras. That's why they went to Panama. That's why they went to Peru or in the preseason, to get some experience on pitches like that, to get a feel for what it will be like, so that they have a little bit of understanding. And I think you did see over the course of that 3-game stretch in South and Central America, they improved on how they played on those surfaces. And I think it had an impact for this game. Sir Okti says, Messi, great to have him back. I was thinking we were going to get him in a, not have the big moment for the crowd, not have the big moment for the for the audience and for us to talk about, but he gets it at the end. Again, I haven't been able to watch the replays on it yet, so I'm looking forward to doing that, but glad he gets on the score sheet. He looks lively. He looks healthy. I'd be interested to see what happens with him in Atlanta this weekend. Is this a sign he's going to start? Is he back? The whole situation's kind of muddled, so I wouldn't presume to guess. Bizrat said Mascherano was resting Bright for the Atlanta game, which makes sense. I agree, and I also think it's interesting that he comes on at the same time as Lionel Messi. We saw last year all the time when Messi came on, Diego Gomez came on, Busquets came on, Alba came on, Suarez came on, whoever wasn't starting came on with Messi. Yannick Bright comes on with Messi. I think even in Mascherano's mind, Yannick Bright's the guy to partner with Busquets in the biggest games, but I think he knew in this game he could get away with giving a little bit of rest to Bright. And listen, I've been very critical about the rotation policy of this team. I still think when it comes to Suarez, Alba, Segovia, and Busquets, it hasn't been good enough. But I think for the rest of the team, he's actually done a pretty solid job. We will see what that looks like with at right back when Ian Frey and Chelo Wiegand come back. So that might be another position to look at. But for the defenders and for the midfielders, especially for that Yannick Bright Redondo situation, I think he's handled rotation well enough. Tony says Benha can't finish. Certainly looked that way tonight, but yeah. Miami King says good defense to lock them, though. Messi looks good. Yeah, and getting a couple clean sheets, right? I know this Jamaica team, I know this Cavalier team is not filled with quality finishers or a ton of technical ability, but they score goals, right? They have multiple guys that have double-digit goals on the season for them. And so to come away with clean sheet and in this game not even really give them a clear-cut chance, I thought it was an excellent defensive performance, and that goes throughout the midfield all the way back to Ustari as well. I thought they all played well. And the game plan set them up well too. Carlos says that was one of Benha's worst games. Mamma mia. Yeah, this season for sure. It is weird because Kramaski has been asked to do so many different roles since he came through. I mean, rewind to 2 years ago when he first comes through, he's playing as our number 10 and he's trying to combine with Campana, and that was like our only form of offense. And now he has to operate as later that season he has to operate as a number 8 next to Busquets and Dixon Arroyo, and now he's playing as a right winger, and last year he had to fit in a different style of midfield. So he's had to do a lot of different positions, certainly hasn't been able to sort of circle in, but I have seen moments from him this season. This was not one of them. I thought this was a step back from him. I hope Ruiz is okay, says Bizrat. Yeah, I actually had high expectations or high hopes for David Ruiz in this game. That's how it works, I guess. Nuno says Cavaliers seem to suffer more than Miami with the pitch, funnily enough. I agree. And let's remember, this is not their home stadium. This is the National Stadium. This is a huge crowd by their standards, right? Even bigger than what they saw in Miami, twice as big as what they saw in Miami, probably 3 times as big as what they saw in Miami. So not a surprise that they were a little nervous, and the pitch is not easy to deal with. Excuse me 1 second. Mistiano says good tactical change to take the wings from them. Yeah. Again, I thought Mascherano had an excellent game plan, certainly much better than what we saw last week. And last week was certainly good enough to get the win, obviously, with a 2-0 home victory. But making adjustments, he's a young coach. I think it's really good to see him learn and make adjustments. I've been very impressed with Javier Mascherano. Messi TV says another reason why home field advantage will be better for Miami is considering the state of the pitch. I don't think we're going to have to deal with this anymore. In Mexico, the pitches are much better. I will say Monterrey really roughed up their pitch last year before we went, but we're only going to play MLS or Liga MX teams from now on. I expect the pitches to be much better. So this was the game you had to survive and win. Anton, why is Kramaski so afraid to take a shot? The second half, there was a moment, and you guys all know what I'm talking about, that he just got open down that right side and had a clear shot on goal, and he just holds it up looking for a pass, and there was no one ready for it because everyone thought he was going to take it. You need to see Santi Morales assist for Messi Afrobeats. I will watch it as soon as this game is over. Nuno says Falcone cleaned everything. I thought it was a phenomenal performance from Falcone. Saur is in charge of our man of the match, after the game, but I think he gave it to Maxi Falcone, and deserved. Pristo says Kramaski needs to sharpen his finishing. He was good. I agree. He's going to get a lot of criticism for what he did in the box. I thought he was fine, from the middle third and our own third, defending third. Like, he did what he was supposed to do. Morales is the only one who could find Messi's million runs. Well, in his defense, Busquets, Alba, and Suarez and Velasco Segovia were off the pitch at that point. So there are other guys that will help Messi create more offense going forward. Pristo says Falcone is the man of the match. Santi Morales more fearless and creative than some older midfielders. Listen, I really like what I've seen from Santi Morales. I will continue to give him praise. I hope he gets more minutes, but he hasn't been asked to be a complete midfielder at any point so far for the first team. So we will see what it looks like when it happens, but certainly worthy of praise. And again, he gets an assist. He looks like he's got some silky smoothness to his game. And I think he's, with Segovia, but obviously more with Messi, he has the perfect mentor to help him really take his game to the next level. So I'm excited about Santi, and Inter Miami is a club that has really done a great job of bringing guys through. One of the reasons they can have such a deep roster is because guys like Kramaski and David Ruiz and Ian Frey and Noah Allen, they come through the academy. Not every club in the MLS has kids coming through the academy like that. And Santi Morales looks like the next one. So again, it's just going to make this team better for the future. Morales also plays like a 10 similar to Messi, says Messi TV. Yeah, and that's who he is, right? That's who he is. And last season, we didn't play with a number 10. Messi was sort of as that right winger. So there wasn't room for a guy like Santi Morales. Obviously, we've created a system, not for Santi Morales, but that will allow Santi Morales to also be an impactful player on the field. Damien says, yes, Championes, great news for Inter Miami. Next level for Suarez, Cinco, and Lionel Messi. Absolutely. Thuk says Morales needs more game time. Kramaski needs less. I did think this was Kramaski's worst game, but I think the winger situation is certainly going to change when we get back from the international break. I expect Fafa Pico to be back. I expect Robert Taylor to be back. And I think Baltasar Rodriguez will be a factor. I also think Alan Obando will be in the roster. So for guys like Kramaski and David Ruiz, it was great they got some minutes, but they're going to have to step up if they want to keep earning minutes. What does that mean for Santi Morales? I don't know. We'll see. Miami King says Falcone played so well. David Falcone with a fire emoji. I agree. I thought he would have been my man of the match if I had to give one out right now. MYC says, love the defensive transition of Miami when we get a quick counterattack from the side since Alba is up. Noah Allen takes the left back position. Boosie covers the center back position. Perfect play by Mascherano. I completely agree. Noah Allen has such great instincts for win and how to cover for Jordi Alba. I think those two together make a perfect pairing. I almost think Inter Miami might want to consider going out and bringing in another left back, really low down the roster, but it feels like Noah Allen's going to lock down a center back spot, and I don't know if you can really have him be a starting center back and also your backup left back. I wonder how that's going to play out, but I don't think that's going to happen, but that's just sort of where my mind went. Natalia says Messi looked pale and winded, but happy he got a goal. Yeah, he will play himself into shape. I have no doubt. The fact that he can get a goal on a pitch like this without having played for 2 weeks and not looking phenomenal, although I thought he looked fine considering the pitch. That I think says something about how good he is. Falcone and Allen balled out, says Mistiano. I agree. Those two were incredible. Team played at the pace they wanted, says Natalia. I completely agree. I think that was part of the philosophical changes that Javier Mascherano put into this game plan compared to last week. I thought we tried to play with a lot of verticality, beat them quickly, go from defense to attack. And if we had to play through Busquets, they took away Busquets, and we kind of just tried a lot of long balls, and a lot of them got intercepted and led to quick transitions for Cavalier. Completely changed the game plan, and it worked much better. Secure, smart on the ball. More boring, as I think Kareem said, but certainly I think better for getting the result we needed. David says that Baltasar is taking Benha's spot. We will see. I'm very interested to see what Baltasar is. I actually think Baltasar might be the backup number 10, and it will allow Segovia to play more wide, but I'm not 100% sure. I think I think both of those guys can play anywhere. I'm very excited about this roster. I've said it over and over, but this is the deepest and best roster in MLS history. Michael says, I'm okay if he doesn't play on Sunday. I'm assuming that's about Lionel Messi, and I'm saying I think he will, but that's just a guess right now. I'm okay if he doesn't play on Sunday. We don't need him to get a victory, and so I'm happy to make sure he stays healthy. Michael says, our defense is looking so solid. It's incredible, really, the transformation over the last year and a half. Pristo says Ian Frey should be our starting right back. Yeah, kind of a quiet game for Ian Frey. He gets to play in front of the Jamaican crowd. I think there was some talk this week about him being a Jamaican national, potentially playing for that national team. I still think he could have a USMNT future if he can continue to stay healthy. The U.S. pool at right back is Serginho Dest #1 and Joe Scally #2. I think he has a higher upside than Joe Scally. I really do. I don't know about Dest, but and so if he wants to be in the U.S. national team, I think he needs to give himself a little bit more runway to stay healthy and prove that he's a great player. I also think this Inter Miami team is going to have a little bit of an inside connection to the U.S. national team just because Mascherano and I think Mauricio Pochettino are going to have a little bit closer of a relationship than Pochettino will have with most MLS coaches. But I think Ian Frey could be the beneficiary of that. But that might have to wait till next January if I'm being honest. He needs to stay healthy consistently, and that has to be the focus. JLS says, I think except for Segovia, those players will get rest during the international break. Yes. But again, it's just about and he's talking about Busquets and Alba and Suarez getting more rotation. I think this is more about Mascherano's philosophy of rotation. Like if he comes out of the international break during one of our long stretches and rotates more, then I think we can chalk this up to saying he knew he could push them through the international break, and he did. But we will see. This is Mascherano's first club coaching job. He's still going to grow and learn as the season goes on, and we'll see. And I just don't want it to bite us in the butt while we're going through that. Kareem says Ruiz is probably not going to be a big loss. It is lucky that we have a depth of midfielders at this time, right? We can complain about guys like Redondo because we have guys like Yannick Bright, Sergio Busquets, and Telasco Segovia. There's a ton of teams that would have those guys be their bright young star. And I'm talking about both Redondo and David Ruiz. Carlos says, with Masha at the helm, this feels like a multiple trophy team with the rebuild defense. You're going to get me too excited. It's too late at night for me to get this excited, but I agree, man. I said they're going to win the CONCACAF Champions Cup. And when that happens, we're going to just be dreaming about stars and trophies. And this team looks poised to do anything they really want to do, assuming there's no drastic turn in the health of the team, because this team has unbelievable depth. They're the best team in CONCACAF. I really believe that. And so as the best team in CONCACAF, they can win every trophy. We'll see what happens in the Club World Cup, but everything else they can win. Bizred says he's watching the Pumas game right now, and the pitch is really good. Yeah, the Liga MX pitches are going to be good. JLS says some of the pitches in the U.S. were terrible during Copa America. They brought in sod to cover artificial turf. Yeah, but in this tournament, we won't be playing on any. We'll be playing in designated soccer pitches, not like an American football pitch converted or an inside pitch converted. So I feel like I think we're going to be fine for pitches moving forward. Nuno says, I feel that Allen is matchup dependent at center back. You don't want him on Benteke or Giroud. Well, listen, I don't think anyone should be afraid of Giroud right now, but we'll see. We'll see. He handled Patrick Ajimong last week pretty well. And Ajimong, I think, is probably the biggest center striker in the MLS. Obviously, he doesn't have the aerial prowess of Benteke, but like size-wise, no, Allen was fine. Natalia says, excited to see Masha's game plan versus LAFC, another team who likes fast transitions. Yeah, LAFC is becoming appointment viewing for the next couple of weeks, huh? Mistiano says Redondo didn't show much again. I thought he was better in this game. I thought the game plan helped him, and he was a better part of this game in terms of helping Inter Miami control the pace of play, helping Inter Miami control possession. I thought he did much better in this game, and that was more about where Mascherano placed him than his talent or his, how he played. But I thought it was fine from him. Ash says, would Redondo be okay? Would be better if given a different role responsibility. I don't think Redondo and Busquets are a great partnership. And when you're talking about Redondo versus Busquets, Busquets wins every time. And that's just what it is. And so if you place Redondo and Yannick Bright next to each other, I think that's a great MLS partnership. But he's not better than Yannick Bright. He doesn't partner better with Sergio Busquets than Yannick Bright, and he's not as good as Sergio Busquets. So that's the sort of problem or dilemma for Federico Redondo. He costs a lot of money, and they're going to continue to give him opportunities. But I think when we get into the big games and the games that we feel like we have to win, and the games we feel like are going to be a real challenge to win, we're going to see Busquets and Yannick Bright next to each other. And Nuno says it exactly right. Bright's a pit bull. He recovers way more balls. He's a ball winner, and he's a transition defense sort of destroyer. I mean, he's a really excellent defensive midfielder, and he's improving in possession. His passing has gotten better. So, I mean, the sky really is the heaven is the ceiling for Yannick Bright. But maybe Yannick Bright's in Italy in a year, and Federico Redondo steps into that role, but who knows? Mistiano says he doesn't have the football IQ of Busi and never will. Yeah, well, it is Busquets, right? Afro Beats says, I expected Falcone and Martinez to be the starting center back this season. Allen is a pleasant surprise. Speaking of David Martinez, I think, and I said this in our season preview, if you want to go back and watch, but this is a huge season for David Martinez, and it is not off to a great start for him. He's a fine player, but the injuries are always going to be a problem. And without the consistency, he's going to lose out to guys. He doesn't quite have the athleticism of a Noah Allen. So I do think he's going to lose out. And Tuta Aviles is going to get his minutes as well. And so is Gonzalo Lujan. So I am not confident in David Martinez. I wouldn't be shocked. I don't think at all. I don't think it would be shocking at all if he leaves the team this summer when his loan ends. I don't think they're going to buy him permanently. Maybe they'll work out a loan extension with River Plate, but it wouldn't shock me if he goes back to River Plate this summer and Inter Miami brings in a different center back, and maybe it'll be Richard King, although I doubt it. A says, did you see Suarez didn't complain about his knees? Probably all that. Oh my goodness. All that ganja in the air. Suarez, unbelievable penalty. Star says we need Obando in the roster quickly. This offense is a bit shaky. Listen, this was not the night to judge the offense, but certainly Alan Obando is going to be a nice, different dimension, I think, to the offense, and certainly going to give the opportunity for Javier Mascherano to rest Luis Suarez a little bit without completely changing the formation or who's up top. Nuno says Martinez will go back to River in the summer. I tend to agree unless things drastically change. And listen, a week ago he had a performance we would all call fine against this Cavalier side. So, if Noah Allen has to start playing more left back and David Martinez has to come in, maybe he has a great month, and things can change quickly in this sport. I don't think David Martinez is a bad player, but right now I think it is trending that way. Messi TV says, I don't think Martinez stays after his loan because there's a ton of cover. I am without Bright with Redondo's much weaker team, says Bizrat. I agree. But also, Inter Miami with their best 11 is the best team in the history of the MLS. Like, I really believe that. And so if you take out Bright and you put in Redondo, they're still just, the best team in the league this season, right? So, we are talking about degrees of being spoiled, I think. Janice says, too bad about the injury, very good about the win. Excellent to see the go back and scoring, absolutely. And then Kirat says, Noah Allen is a baller. Completely agree. He, next to Jordi Alba, that is something to pay attention to for this season. They just play so well off each other. I'm really impressed with that. And it really allows Jordi Alba to play much higher up the pitch. Okay, last one, and then I'll get out of here because I didn't have Saur's thoughts to sort of bounce off on. Star says thoughts on the Atlanta game coming up. I haven't really thought about it, but I expect them to go for it, right? They've been going for every single game so far. They have not shied away from really pushing the envelope on players. They have so much depth. So I would guess we're going to get Rocco Rios Novo in goal. I would have said Drake Callender a couple of days ago, but I just have a feeling it's going to be Rios Novo. I think they're going to be, I don't know. I think Drake's might be the backup, but we will see. I'm not 100%. I'm very 50-50 on those two. I expect to see Toto Aviles at center back and maybe David Martinez or maybe Noah Allen or maybe Maxi Falcon. I don't know. There's so many good options. Maybe Aviles and Gonzalo Lujan at center back. I would like to see Ian Frey get the night off or the afternoon off and get Gonzalo Lujan at right back. It is on turf. I don't want to risk Ian Frey. He's played a lot of minutes, and that's what I've been calling for. But, I think it's okay to give him a night off, especially on the turf in Atlanta. Give me Bright and Busquets in the midfield. That's what I expect. Messi up top is probably what I would expect at the number 10 role. Suarez at striker. And probably Allende and Segovia on the wings. I really expect them to go with like a really strong 11, especially considering Atlanta beat them last year. They're going to want revenge. So I expect them to really go for it. There's a chance that Alan Obando is on the roster for that game. I'm surprised Inter Miami never hasn't confirmed him officially over the last couple of days. I thought he would be available for that game. Maybe he will be announced tomorrow. Maybe they wanted to get through this game first and maybe use him as good news in case something went wrong or something like that. But I expect Obando, that confirmation to happen soon. I wouldn't be shocked if he's on the roster for that Atlanta game, but we will see. Okay, guys, I'm going to end it there. Thank you so much. And by the way, do me a favor, hit the like button. I really appreciate you guys being here and talking Inter Miami and giving me some great thoughts in the chat to go off of. It's just always so fun, and you guys make it way better and much more of a complete experience for me. And I know Saur feels the same way. So as always, thank you so much for being a part of this. We will be back tomorrow. We'll rewatch the game tomorrow, have our awards, our breakdown, all of that, talk more tactics, get more analytical, and of course, have some fun with the awards. But until then, I hope you guys have a lovely night, and we will see you guys next time. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Do us a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Since our first viewer, sharing this with you all has been the very best part. So from the beginning until the end, thank you for being a part of this and have a wonderful day.